Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. I love listening to Bob Proctor's material and reading his books. And one of his easiest books to read is the ABCs of Success. These are the essential principles from America's greatest prosperity teacher. I was so honored to have been a student of his and been to several of his in-person seminars. And he taught so effortlessly because he loved teaching. He loved this material. In the ABCs of Success, I was reading about decision and choice and courage and confidence and overcoming circumstances. Now I want to carry on alphabetically talking about direction. Bob suggests there are a couple of really important ingredients. And he said, it's been believed for too long a time and by too many people that it takes above average intelligence to succeed in business. Although I don't imagine anyone considers intellectual competence a hazard, we should remember it is certainly no guarantee that success will accrue to all who possess it. If intelligence is such an important ingredient in success, why do so many brilliant people fail? Why do so many fast starters lapse into mediocrity? While these two instances are not typical of brilliant people in general, they often do happen. There are also many instances in which the level of success has little relationship to the level of intelligence. It has been observed more frequently than chance would permit that men and women of modest ability have reached the top of their organization or profession. No one has ever been able to determine exactly what it takes to succeed in business, but there are certain characteristics that we know for certain contribute to success, regardless of a person's level of intelligence. Bob Proctor suggests that successful people learn from experience and they have drive from within. Successful people believe in themselves and they have power with people. They have character. Successful people have a sense of direction. They know where they're going and they know they will get there. They have developed an inner confidence that is expressed openly in their behavior, and they have a genuine concern for the well-being of others. Intelligence alone is not enough. It has never been enough on its own. You may be an ordinary student, but you can be an extraordinary success at whatever you choose to do when you enter the business world. The two most important ingredients for a successful life are having a goal and persistence. Having a goal. Bob taught that most of all, he would say, what do you really want? What do you dream of? If you're bored with life, you don't get up every morning with a burning desire to do things. You don't have enough goals. Life can be pulled by goals just as surely as it can be pushed by drives. Persist and persevere, and you will find most things are attainable, they're possible. And he says to have a dream. Bob Proctor said, I am forever talking about goals and the role they play in our lives. It's so important to understand the importance of a goal. It's not so much the goal that's important, it's the growth you experience on the way to achieving your goal. That's the big deal. Without a goal, it becomes easy, in fact, quite logical, to quit trying every time the going gets a little tough. It is the image in your mind of the goal reached that keeps you going regardless. I came across an excellent story that illustrates this basic truth. It involved a young lady named Gertrude Ederle. Up until the year 1926, no woman had ever swum the English Channel. Then an automobile company offered a red Buick convertible automobile and $2,000 in cash to the first woman who could accomplish this feat. Well, if you look at what money buys in 100 years later, in 2025, $2,000 and a red Buick convertible would have been worth a lot of money in 1926. The story goes a 19-year-old American girl named Gertrude Ederle wanted the automobile. She could see herself with it. This image caused her to decide to swim the English Channel in order to get it. Partway across the channel, her body's strength began to give out, and she felt she couldn't swim one more stroke. You might have some idea of how Gertrude must have felt. But as she lay there waiting to be taken out of the water, she closed her eyes, and before her imagination passed an image of herself sitting in this red Buick convertible. Seeing herself in possession of her goal gave her a new surge of strength, and she didn't stop again until she felt the sand of the opposite shore under her feet. Swimming the English Channel was not Gertrude Ederle's goal. The red Buick convertible was her goal. Swimming the channel is what she had to do to reach her goal. The image of the goal gave her the necessary strength to keep going. It worked for her, and it will work for you if you have a goal. To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream, not only plan, but also believe. You know, that's so important. We have an intellect. If you use your intelligence, your conscious mind to decide what do you really want, it takes some time sometimes to dream about what do you really want. We've been so programmed using our imagination to think about what's the worst that could happen. Is there something that you really want? What's holding you back from going after it? Gertrude Ederle almost gave up halfway across the English Channel until she remembered what she was swimming the English Channel for. It wasn't for fame and glory, it was for that red Buick convertible. It takes practice to focus on a beautiful goal, but if you have a deep desire for something that you really want, it doesn't matter if it's a red convertible, a new house, your business flourishing, or knowing that something that you've invented will change the world, the way healthcare is practiced, the way the educational system teaches. Something as revolutionary as a cell phone. In my grandparents' day, they didn't even have Polaroid cameras where you pushed a button that took a picture and the picture was developed right there. They had the old style where you turned the film. And Bob Proctor would say, you have to get clear on your goal because it's like if if you have too many things going on in your head, you're going to think about, oh, wouldn't it be nice to take that trip? But I really want a new house. I really want a new car. I really want this instead. And he would say, you really want something because of the way it's going to make you feel. You believe you're going to be happy when you attain that goal. But if you're not clear, if you just say, I want to be happy and healthy and loved, I want to live a life of time and money freedom, if you're not clear on what the goal is, it's like taking a picture with your camera and then forgetting to wind the film and taking another picture. There's two images and you can't see either one clearly. If you're old enough to remember a camera where you had to wind the film to take the picture and then you had to wait for it to be developed and then you got the pictures back. Oh, there's a picture of the family. There's a picture of me sitting on the beach. There's a picture of the car I want. There's a picture of the backyard with everybody sitting around. Oh, there's a picture that has a double exposure. It looks like I tried to take a picture of a boat and a picture of the house at the same time. And you can't see either picture clearly. You can have anything you want, but you have to get a clear picture of what it is. What do you really want? When you get clear on a goal, it's going to pull you, as you don't have to drive yourself, but there are some days where it feels like it's not going to happen. It feels like you've taken one step forward and two steps backwards, and that's why you need persistence. You need a goal that is so big and so beautiful, so audacious. You want to jump out of bed every morning and get started working towards your goal. You have you have to have persistence because there are going to be days where it doesn't seem like it's happening. It feels like you're halfway across the English Channel and you can't see either shore. So it has to be something that you really want, something you really are in love with. In talking about goals, Bob Proctor says that is the essence of life. Do you find sometimes life a little dull or perhaps boring? Life can be an exciting adventure, but you must make the excitement, discover the adventure. Bob tells another story about the late John Goddard, which was in the Desert News. And he said, I doubt if Goddard had a dull or boring moment in his life. When he was 15, he listed 127 challenging goals which he tenaciously pursued. Among his challenges, he listed exploring the Nile, the world's largest river, and the Congo, the second largest, climbing Mount Everest as well as the Matterhorn in a raging blizzard, running a 5-minute mile and playing Clair de Lune on the piano. And he fulfilled all of these challenges. When Bob Proctor wrote this article, John Goddard had accomplished 108 of his original 127 challenging goals. A new goal, not on the set that he had originally listed, was flying the sleek supersonic B-1 bomber, at that time the U.S. Air Force's most advanced plane. It could fly at supersonic speeds unnoticed under a radar blanket. And Goddard made the flight on November 3rd, 1989, in Abilene, Texas, after gaining approval from the Secretary of the Air Force. Goddard had already flown 47 different types of aircraft, including the F-4 Phantom, F-11 fighter bombers, and the F-106 Delta Dart. John Goddard climbed 12 of the world's highest mountains. He conducted 14 major expeditions into remote regions. He traversed 15 of the world's most treacherous rivers, visited 120 countries, and studied 260 primitive tribes. Goal setting is the essence of life. Do these things not for external praise, but for the inner reward. It makes you a better person, a better parent, and professional. It's important to be constantly growing. Human beings must have action, and they will make it if they cannot find it. He who attends to his greater self becomes a greater man, and he who attends to his smaller self becomes a smaller man. Periods of tranquility are seldom prolific of creative achievement. Mankind has to be stirred up. Bob Proctor gave away hundreds of thousands of goal cards. Whenever he spoke at a convention or a seminar, he always had a goal card put on every seat. He handed them out to companies and managers and corporations to hand out to every employee. And the reactions of individuals receiving the goal card is always interesting. Frequently, a person will pick it up, look at it, smile, and lay it down again. It would appear as if the person is saying, "Isn't that cute?" Others will snap it up and quickly ask for more. A goal card is simply a card in a plastic sleeve with a positive statement on one side and a place for the person to write their goal on the other side. I have a goal card that says, it's a quote from Earl Nightingale, "This great dream, this surging dynamic thing, invisible to all the world except to the person who holds it, is responsible for every great advance of humankind." And then on the other side, it starts out with a little statement. By this date, my goal, and Bob Proctor would say, you have to have a goal. And this goal card is like a pocket billboard. If I said the words Mona Lisa, everyone listening would know exactly what that beautiful work of art hanging in the Louvre in Paris, what that painting looks like. And speaking of paintings, this painting is a portion of Starry Night by Van Gogh, and he said, "I dream my painting, and then I paint my dream." So if you have something that you really want, paint a picture of it, draw a sketch, write it out, paint it with words, and you write out, first of all, in great detail, getting clear on what the goal would look like once it's accomplished. If you want a particular house, what does the front door look like? When you walk in the front door, what does the living room look like? Are there vaulted ceilings? Is there glass everywhere? Are there mirrors on some of the walls? What color are the walls painted? Do you have stairs going up and down, or do you see to the back door? Is it wide open, or are the rooms divided? What does your ideal house look like? You can walk into the master suite, the master bedroom, the primary suite. Where would your bed be? What does the view look like? As you're laying down in that bed, imagine being there. Imagine that you're drifting off to sleep in your dream home. And when you wake up in the morning, you're going into that kitchen that it's just the way you want it. What do your appliances look like? Are they top of the line? Are they colored? Do they look like they're hidden panels in the wall? Are they stainless steel? How many cupboards do you have? Do you have an island in the middle? Is it wide open that you can see the living room or the family room? Do you have a separate kitchen with an additional dishwasher and prep area so that it's hidden from the main kitchen and the dining area? What is your view standing at the kitchen sink? If you do this regularly and you imagine it so clearly in your mind and you write down, I am so happy and grateful now that I am living in my dream home, and you know exactly what it looks like. You've written it out. You've imagined it so clearly in your mind, you could draw a sketch of it or have someone design it for you. Or you might be driving past that house and you know it's on the golf course, or it's a beautiful home by the lake. Whatever it is, make it so real in your mind that when you are doing your own dishes in your own kitchen, you're imagining your dream home. Bob Proctor did this with his partner, Sandy Gallagher, and she found her ideal home, and it was something that she had a beautiful glossy picture book. She pretended when she was in her own home, she pretended that she was in her dream home. She pretended that when she was walking down the hallways, it was going to the master suite of her new house. Before she bought the house, she even sent out Christmas invitations to all her family, inviting them to have Christmas with her in this new home on Whidbey Island. And her family knew she didn't live there. Oh, what do you mean, this new house? She felt this house was hers. She dreamt about it. She wrote about it. She looked at pictures of it. She pretended when she was reading a book, she was sitting in a particular chair in that house. She imagined herself going to sleep every night in that house, and then ideas started to come. She found the money. She made an offer and she bought the house. You don't give up halfway across the English Channel if you're going after the red Buick convertible. That's your dream goal. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter how big it is. The point is, it has to be something that you are in love with. Bob Proctor would say, decide what it is, get so in love with your goal, and write it down on a card. He recommended that every person carry a goal card loose in their purse or pocket. Then every time you touch the card, you begin thinking of your goal. Try it. What is it that you really want? Can you see yourself with the goal? When you think about the goal, when you close your eyes and imagine what it's like to have that time and money freedom, what are you doing with your time and money freedom? You've already bought the dream home. You're driving your luxury vehicle or whatever car you want, whatever vehicle you want. When you're driving, pretend that you're driving the car of your dreams. It could be a red Buick Cadillac. It could be a Ferrari. It could be a Lexus or a Mercedes. Whatever vehicle you prefer, while you're driving your regular vehicle, even your old farm truck, you could be pretending that it's the vehicle of your dreams. Make it a goal. Instead of having it be a dream, write it down on a goal card. What does it look like? If it's a brand new vehicle, what does it smell like? Can you feel the stitching on the leather steering wheel? You're sitting inside the vehicle. You know what it looks like on the outside. You know what color the interior would be. You know if it has 2 doors or 4 doors. You know if it seats 2 people or 12. Write your goal on a card and carry it with you. Or you could put sticky notes all over your office, your home. Put a sticky note on the mirror. So when you wake up in the morning and look at yourself in the mirror, you can say your goal card, your goal out loud, reading off that card or that sticky note. I am so happy and grateful now that. Research indicates that only about 13% of people have clearly defined goals. About 3% have a goal in writing, but that 3% enjoy the highest incomes. They lead meaningful, exciting lives. They have a purpose and they go after it. Henry David Thoreau said, if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with success unexpected in common hours. I challenge you to write your goal on a card and carry it with you. Every time you touch it, you're going to remind yourself that's what you're going after. Set your goal, forget about the how, and get on with enjoying your day. Make a plan, decide what you're going after, visualize it, and create a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you.